Christy Tina, out of 6 of these women, who will be the biggest star at WrestleMania 41?
Jade Cargill. It's not
hands
even
down.
Hands down.
You didn't even hesitate.
Because there is no hesitation needed. Did we all watch the same SmackDown this past week, or is it just me? Like, Jade Cargill has been sold as the incredible free agent as she is, and she's put in the work. We have been giving her respect because we've seen her been putting in the work in the Performance Center. That way no one can say, oh, well, she should have, been trained more before coming into the machine. She did that work. She has outside work with AEW. Is it perfect? No, but we saw that there was a star there. And with WWE being the star-making machine that it is, for, an example, like a Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is one of their biggest promotional people on their roster right now. And she does amazing, incredible work. Her work with the video game with 2K24, immaculate. I can completely see Jade Cargill being on a Today Show, being on a Tonight Show segment with Jimmy Fallon, doing the video game spots, doing the YouTube behind the scenes social media content. She is going to be the one to get pushed to the moon during this match. This is a 3-woman tag match, understandable, but this is in reality a showcase for Jade Cargill. And when there's no better place to do it than the fucking showcase of the Immortals, than WrestleMania. Showcase
the Immortals, like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant putting WrestleMania on the map. That's going to be Belair versus Jade. Now, those are the 2 girls that I suspected you to pick. And you just went Jade like that, like she's that bitch. Like, isn't that her gimmick?
She kind of is, but if we're going to be completely honest about it, Bianca has been pushed to a point where she no longer needs a push. She can maintain her spot on roster within her own fortitude, and she doesn't need any extra kind of help. Jade is just starting. Jade is going to need that money-making power machine kind of push behind her, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. We're all aware of Jade Cargill, but now we need to make sure that she is a household name, and this is the time to do so. Naomi did it for herself when she went to work for TNA, and she came back, and now she's way more well-known. Bianca has made herself such a force on WWE television from NXT all the way up to now, so she doesn't really need that help. Jade is the one that's going to need this style of push, and it's going to benefit her so much. It's going to be ridiculous what happens with Jade Cargill after Mania.
Can I push back a little? No, I think Belair is just I love Belair. She's undeniable. I think she's great. And of course, she's she feels complacent in this current role. It's like kind of been there, done that at the tippy top. And she kind of feels like she could use like a transition. She kind of feels like John Cena in a way where if they continue to go with her at that top without really tweaking anything, she could potentially get stale. But I don't think she's done up top whatsoever. So I'm not bringing that energy. What I'm saying is, for Jade Cargill, of course, we're coming off that fantastic entrance and presentation on SmackDown a few nights ago. But for her to get to the status of Bianca Belair, she's going to have to go out there and put on those performances that Bianca Belair went out there and had against Sasha, against Becky, against Bayley, against all these girls. You think Jade's going to be able to go out there and do that to answer the first question that I asked you, that who's going to be the bigger star at WrestleMania 41? You think she's going to go have those placeholders that kind of excel her up to the potential that she has?
Absolutely. It's no question at all, because at the end of the day, you keep comparing her to Bianca. Bianca had to start somewhere. Bianca started off in NXT. And she had to, over the years, have these styles of matches, different styles of matches, different styles of opponents. But over the years, she's evolved. And she was able to be given that time to grow and develop and become the star that she is today. It wasn't her immediate first run that she became who she is now. It's the same thing with Jade. Jade completely has the capacity to have barnyard burners with all these amazing people, like a Charlotte, like a Bianca, like a Naomi, like a Bayley. It's absolutely 100% in her wheelhouse, but we're not going to know what happens until we pull the trigger. So what are you going to do? Have her not show out at this match in Mania?
Oh, she's going to show out
on Monday Night Raw. This would be the most sense. We know that Naomi can work. We know that Bianca can work. We wouldn't be surprised if they had a 5-star match at Mania, because that's how well they've established themselves. So why not have Jade show her capability of matching them, or at least being somewhat on the same caliber of during this Mania match? And they're working against some of the best women in the industry. You have Kana, Asuka, who's been all over the world. The same thing with Kairi Sane. Dakota Kai did amazing work on the indies,
Dakota's
did
perfect.
amazing work with NXT. These are all women that have done immense credit to the women's division, not only with WWE, but in the other places that they have worked. So for these kind of titans of the women's industry to be in the same match, first of all, is just a wrestling fan's wet dream off the rip. Just fantasy booking. This is a fantasy booking match. This is you going to 2K and just like picking your most OP characters. And now being able to finally see this in real breathing time, I'm just grateful it's happening at all. And the fact that Jade is going to have the push to the moon that I know that she's going to have, very similar to a Tiffany Stratton, where Tiffany's as popular as she is now, but she's not near the top of the card, but you know she's going to get there eventually. Jade's going to have the same moment. She's going to have to wrestle Zelina Vegas and Mia Yims and Chelsea Greens and Piper Nivens, but not to say that those women are not worthy. It's just the it's the ascension to the top. So she's going to have to work through all these other amazing middle card women's wrestlers to get to like the big four, the big five, which is who? Charlotte, Bianca, Bailey, Rhea, like Naomi. Like it's going to take her a while, but this is the perfect place to showcase her.
No, it is. It
makes
is.
no sense to wait till Monday night the next day.
Dang, what ham on me. All I asked was, you sure Jade's ready to live up to that Bianca presentation they got going on here? We went off. Now, one question. Tell us a little bit about yourself now. We usually do this 2 seconds in, but now we are 7 minutes in. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Chrissy Tina?
My name is Chrissy Tina. I am the pro wrestling sweetheart. I am a worker on TikTok along with everyone else here. We do podcasts. I have Wrestling with Friends with my best friend in the world, James, where we talk about everything past, present, and future in the wrestling industry. I do NXT Rewind, which is a TikTok live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I work with amazing creators and we just watch NXT for the sake of nostalgia, because sometimes life sucks, but it's always better with wrestling and friends like my friend over here, Ryan, and I do amazing work with creators like him here on YouTube.
I don't know if I'm much of a creator, but you know what I mean. Chrissy, thank you. You know, this is my second time doing something with you, and I love your energy and your exuberance and all that stuff. So I'll keep putting you over and whatever. But anyways, we're here to put over these 6 women, and you put Jade over enough. I like Jade. I wasn't down on Jade. I didn't want to come across as down on Jade. I just wanted to see who, if you thought was the biggest woman at next year's WrestleMania, and hands down, you think it's Jade. Interesting. Let's talk about Bianca real quick. Bianca, Rhea, right after WrestleMania last year, they had that stare down. So in my head, I penciled Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 40. So we didn't get that. We didn't get anything close to that necessarily. They did the stare down. You're like, oh, those are the 2 biggest NXT stars that they've produced in a long, long time on the women's side of things. Honestly, on either side of things, male or female. So that's a WWE wet dream right there to present the PC successes at WrestleMania. I low-key think that could be like a night 1, or even maybe and who knows what Roman and The Rock and all those motherfuckers are doing next year. It could be a night 2 WrestleMania worthy match for sure. So that's why I gave you a little bit pushback on the Jade Cargill, but also I could see a lane where Bianca goes off and has a baby, or I don't know what's up with Bianca. Well, overall, what's your feeling on Bianca right now?
I mean, I absolutely love Bianca, and you're very correct. For as much as I'm hype on Jade Cargill, she shouldn't be in the Mania main event picture, title picture next year. It should be a good solid 2-3 years out to let her develop and to be more known on the roster before she gets a title match at Mania.
Present her as a woman, yeah.
But with Bianca, I can definitely see Mania 41, her and Rhea, the proper match between her and Rhea, because they fought before. But I don't feel like they've done something to the kind of Rock Austin-esque extent that I really feel like they could have the potential to have. Bianca had an amazing match with Sasha at Mania, I believe 36. 37. And we all know that she's main event material. It's not surprising. We know that Rhea Ripley's main event material after the match that she had last year with Charlotte, that in a lot of people's minds should have been the main event over the Usos versus Sami Owens and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Sorry, those are their married names. I apologize. But yeah, I really feel like Bianca and Rhea would be a match for the history books. But WWE did the thing again where they didn't pull the trigger at the proper time. We're going to get that match probably 2-3 years down the line where people have kind of forgotten about it and the relevancy that it should have had. I hope and pray that WWE going into next year really remember that Bianca and Rhea have amazing chemistry, have always had amazing chemistry since their NXT days, and they could possibly have the biggest, like, Into the Spider-Verse-esque storyline in WWE history, as you said, whether it be a male storyline or a female storyline. Bianca and Rhea, both on the mic and in ring, could be some history-shattering type content, and I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. It's pretty much WrestleMania main event worthy, in my opinion. No pushback there. All right, Naomi. Well, as we finish this side of the graphic, I like Naomi. You know, there's nothing wrong with her. I just feel like she doesn't have the charisma, star power, presence. It's better now, but as the two girls that we just talked about, but of course, those are generational talents, especially Bianca Belair. I kind of wanted Naomi versus Tiffany for the women's division to go out there and have like just a straight singles match at WrestleMania. I thought that it would be a very cool presentation for Tiffany, and I think it would be really cool for Naomi, historically wise, just to go out there and have a singles match. I thought we were almost kind of get that at WrestleMania, but it feels like they kind of threw this into like a 6-woman tag, which is cool. I dig the match, but I thought Naomi was going to have something like Tiffany's introduction to Tiffany to the main roster at a WrestleMania match.
WWE has always had the issue where they feel like one women's match is already too many women's matches.
They're better now. I'll give them a little bit. They're
now, but going from 0 to 2 isn't exactly like a leap in history. It's a little better, but they need to continue to evolve and improve when it comes to their women's division. And I really feel like they don't realize that they can just do a 50-50 men's women's WrestleMania and no one's really going to blink an eye because of the amount of talented women that they have on their roster, in their employ. Naomi and Tiffany, like you said, would have 100% been a great match, just based in storyline, no titles or any kind of consequences on the line, just something to progress both Naomi in terms of a character and Tiffany as in terms of a character. But for some reason, WWE feels like 1 to 2 women's matches, 3 matches are maximum during WrestleMania weekend. But hopefully going forward, as time goes on, they realize that they can do more with these storylines within their women's division, just like they do with the men's. You literally just have to gender swap. It's not that hard. But Naomi can definitely carry a storyline. We've seen her do it in TNA. I wish she actually would have stayed in TNA a little bit longer to get her portfolio up. Not saying that she's not talented, but she should have made her price higher by staying in TNA longer or going from TNA to an AEW, kind of like what Cody did. Cody kind of jumped from place to place until he was so undeniable that WWE was willing to pay whatever to get him back. I feel Naomi had the capacity to do that too, but she missed to WWE, and that's what she wanted to do, and she's happy with her decision, and I'm happy for her. But
she's back with her husband.
They have such a treasure, such a star in Naomi, who's completely main event circle, like title holder worthy, but they're so stuck on the 3 people at the top, which is Bianca, which is Charlotte, which is Rhea, or Becky and Rhea, that they really don't see the forest for the trees when it comes to their other talent. And hopefully as the year goes on, that curtain lifts and they're able to see the amazing women that they have besides just the big 3 on their roster and utilize them.
Yeah, Naomi's all right. I like her, but I don't know if she's not on that tier for me yet. All right, let's talk the other side of the fence here. The heels, the bad guys, the naughty girls, the Kabuki Warriors. This is like the second year in a row that we don't have a women's tag team match defended at WrestleMania. They're kind of stuck in the 6-woman kerfuffle. But for that aspect, I don't really like that. I think that I would have preferred the Kabuki Warriors versus Jade and Bianca and Naomi with Tiffany and Dakota with not turning on Bayley yet, but kind of playing the fence. That's what I would have kind of preferred. But who am I? But we're talking about this match here. What are your overall thoughts on the Kabuki Warriors?
I absolutely agree. This goes right back to what we were just saying, where WWE just doesn't think it's smart to have multiple women's matches on a card, because absolutely out of these 6 women alone, you could have gotten 2 separate matches in a character moment, at least.
Yeah.
The Kabuki Warriors have worked the world over. I've been a fan of Asuka since I believe she worked in Shimmer. I believe it was Shimmer or Glitter. But Kairi Sane, since the Mae Young Classic is the first time I saw her, I've been an incredible, like, loyal fan. I love her in-ring work. She has probably one of the best elbow drops in the industry. Asuka has done incredible work with the Streak and NXT, being so good to the point where they literally just had to retire the title off of her and have her go up to the main roster. No one on the women's division has really done anything like that since in NXT. Her in-ring work is immaculate. Like, and this is something that could definitely aid someone like a Jade Cargill and like a Naomi with working with these caliber of athletes. Like Asuka and Kairi Sane are amazing athletes. So being able to pick their brains and get that kind of like rub off of them onto themselves would help them evolve into becoming better characters, better workers. So this is going to be an incredible opportunity for them as well to work with these two legendary superstars in their cast.
Yeah. So what do you think of Damage Control as a whole coming out of here? Bailey and Io, of course, are having the title match, and I lean Bailey there, and I lean Team Belair and Jade and Naomi. So the Kabuki Warriors, I predict we're going to go 0-2 on this night. Are they in Damage? Will they find their footing, or will it be just like one of those things where they'll just kind of tread water until they flip them to Raw, and then they're like fresh new heels over there, and they're going to be whatever? Or do you think that they're going to transition to kind of out of something else?
I absolutely love the Kabuki Warriors. I feel like the Kabuki Warriors and Damage Control are going to continue with this feud, but I believe that Dakota is going to be the one that's taking the role of Bailey's opponent going forward, not Io. I love Io. I really don't feel like they did her justice with this title run, very Rey Mysterio-esque, where they just didn't really give her anything to chew on, really didn't give her anything to work with. Not saying that she's not a star in her own right. We all remember Puerto Rico Backlash, where just the entire crowd went nuts for Io Shirai, Io Sky, and the suits weren't expecting it. And that was kind of the beginning of her getting that push, was the reaction that she got in Backlash in Puerto Rico. So we are aware that she's a star. She just needs more things to work on. So I think that would be a perfect opportunity for Io to work with someone like a Naomi, like a Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne Perez is, showing up more on the main roster. Isla Dawn, these people that are amazing athletes. She can kind of work in the middle card a little bit more. And the middle card in the women's division, let's be honest, needs developing. Not that they're not all amazing athletes, but the middle card in the women's division gets no play. So why not have these heavy hitters like an Io Sky work with people like a Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton to get these big banger matches on your mid card for the women, while having the upper card, the main roster for the women, seem unattainable. So you have that David and Goliath push with these bigger stars like a Becky, like a Rhea, for the young and up and comers like a Dakota, like a Naomi, like a Jade.
All right, I let the cat out of the bag. I already said that the baby faces are going to win. Do you agree, or who do you think is going to win this match?
I agree 100%. The baby faces are going to completely sweep. And this will give the Damage Control heel turn more of an edge Monday night going forward, because they have some fat to chew on.
Now. And how excited are you for this match out of 10?
15. This
really?
is personal. This is personal for me.
What did they do to you? Why is it so personal?
It's personal for me because growing up, I would watch these pay-per-views and it was always Tori Wilson and Sable in a schoolgirl bra and panties match, slumber party matches, Halloween costume matches, and no one looked like me and my friends. So to see the array of talent in these women, to see these beautiful women being able to shine on the greatest stage of them all, the showcase of the immortals, and know that it may not have happened for me, but there is a little 12-year-old girl out there somewhere seeing these three titans of the industry, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi, have this image of them pointing at the WrestleMania sign and be able to see themselves and know that it's a possibility for them, gives me hope for the women's wrestling rosters and industries and just landscape going forward.
Good answer. I'm about a 5.56. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's good. But I'm a misogynistic asshole. I get it. All right. Anyways. No, I support the women. I enjoy the women, and I'm looking forward to it. I
He
think
has
this is
me
a
here
good.
as a character hire, y'all. That's the only reason why I'm even on this podcast.
We have a demo. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. What night do you think is a better fit for this match?
It's gonna be night one. It's gonna
Okay.
be night one.
You have a reason why?
I feel like it's very much like yourself. I feel like this match is a big deal. I'm not sure if WWE realizes the weight behind this match truly. But I do feel like it's going to be a very big pop, and they're probably going to want people to get drawn in immediately. So, what better night to have it than on night one?
Yeah, I put it like 2 or 3 now that you say it, right? That's
Mhm.
the crowd's hot. Get Jade out there. I'm sure they have a super special
You
entrance
pop
for
them
her.
early and try and keep them. Yep.
You remember it. Yeah, that's a good call. So I agree with you. Night 1, 2nd or 3rd, perfect spot for it. All right,
WWE
Chrissy.
needs to hire me, honestly.
All right, I'll make a call. All right, so Chrissy, we already know what you're about. You thank you for gracing us with your presence. And do you have anything lasting to say to all these babies?
Hello, babies. Once again, my name is Chrissy Tina, working here with No So Podcast. And Ryan, please make sure that we are supporting our friends because wrestling is better with friends. Speaking of which, I have a podcast named Wrestling with Friends with my best friend in the world, James, where we cover everything from past, present, to the future of the wrestling industry. On TikTok, I am Chrissy Tina, where I do amazing content with content creators that have worked with Ryan, like a Richie Mars. I do NXT Rewind every single Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We pick an NXT takeover to reminisce over because sometimes life sucks, but life is better with wrestling and friends.
That's 2 plugs. You're gonna have to slide some sponsorship over on that one. All right. Chrissy, thank you as always. We'll see you on the next one.